Me when I die in a roguelite the first time I play it. No game should ever have meta progression ever. It's emblematic of bad game design. How about, you know what? If I'm not going to get health, we should buy, like, defense. And maybe, oh, well, I can't afford anything else, so fuck you. Let's go to the Ember Grounds this time. What are we doing down here? Hey, hey, whoa, whoa, whoa! They're already on me! There's a man in a cage here.
Praise the gods! Another mortal soul! I beg of you, release me from this wretched cage.
That's unexpected.
Somewhere nearby. Help
Okay.
me.
Help me. You think it's in these pots? I thought I saw a key there. Oh, it's on the map, actually. Gollum? I am your Gollum. You listen to me. You're just a precious, 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 precious. Is it true that the Gollum video game has a Meghan Trainor song in the end credits that she made just for the game? Help me. Yes? That
You're
owns.
back! Please, free me from this accursed place. Quick, the shadows are closing in.
I've opened your cage. He was like, yeet, I'm out of here. I thought he was going to help me out. I thought he might be like Laurentius of the Great Swamp or something, for real. Me at the flea market, Laurentius of the Great Swamp. Is this something? 10% damage. The concept of the Gollum video game is quite funny. I mean, it's like, I feel bad. People are like cooking Daedalic. They're just, you know, normal men. They're just innocent men. They deserve it? I mean, all they did was make, like, a bad game. If your ass buys, like, a game that has a 36 on Metacritic in 2023, your ass kind of deserves it, honestly. It's like eating poison and being like, somebody should have told me. And then, like, there's a big skull on the bottle. Like, you can make fun of it, but when people are like, this is everything wrong with modern games. I'm like, brother, I know you're like 11 years old, but there were shit games, like, you know, before you were born. I'm telling you. How about, give me some pickup range so I don't get EXP starved. Holy cow. I am leaving. But it is funny. Like, the concept of that game just existing is kind of hilarious. Like, who wanted, like, a Gollum game? Never really watched, like, Lord of the Rings and been like, man, I'd love to see what that guy's got, what that guy's got going on. Kid named Gollum. Fixes projectiles in the direction you're facing. Ring blade throws blades left and right in alternation. They act like boomerangs, passing the character and then flying off screen. Yoink. They do be flying off screen. They're not joking about that part. How about some extra attack speed? Ah! You gotta try to aim your boomerangs, please. I think it's like an RTS. We gotta get our economy set up. Need like, I'll take area and cone size on it. Whoa, wait, Explodor! We need to get like pickup range, so the enemies we kill, we actually get all their experience and don't slowly get whittled down. Like, I'll even go 40% pickup range on this, so I don't have to get right next to these enemies to get the EXP. And be just strong enough to survive. Gain speed, dies immediately. Green text arrow, tells a lie on the internet. How about, let's go regen. Let's take early regen. You keep us out of trouble here. Go a little bit more defensive. Nice shot. I would like more movement speed. What is block strength? Like, what's the difference between block strength and defense? I would assume that they're both like damage reduction, unless I have a block button, which I don't. Block is a chance to trigger. Oh! Delightfully devilish. The tooltip tells you? You're not a tooltip, you're a chat. Tooltip's just a bunch of ones and zeros. Don't, you know, don't talk down to yourself. Might as well. I was gonna take 8% range over 10% range plus extras. Why are you getting mobbed by giant turds? This is my spec script for Bo is Afraid 2. Bo gets simultaneous salmonella and campylobacter infections. And gets chased through the halls of hell by his own diarrhea. Thoughts on early civilization architecture? I've been thinking of pivoting to like become one of those guys who's like on Twitter and is like, why don't they make churches anymore? All they make are like Pizza Huts. While also simultaneously wanting the income tax rate to get reduced to 0%. Is this the Are You Afraid of the Dark theme song? Give me some damage. You always need some damage. I can't believe I haven't killed the first boss yet. He's just goo. What could it cost, Michael? $10? What's your favorite style of column? With all due respect to the column heads out there, learning the differences between like an Ionic column and a Corinthian column and etc. might actually be the dumbest thing we ever spent time on in high school. Certainly, like in elementary school, cursive writing is like the reigning champion of spending way too much time learning something that didn't matter at all. But the columns are like pretty close. Like they're... I'm gonna catch a lot of heat from this from the column cells out there, but they're all like the same. They're all just columns. Bro, what are you talking about? They're the same. Don't they just have like different... Some of them have like curved up edges at one side? Ah! I guess you gotta get out of the circle early. Why the hell do I need to know what my cells look like? Brother, you might think that because I got a degree in biology, I would take offense to that. I think you're absolutely right. I know it's like a very smooth-brained take that you can hear on any podcast. Let me out of here. Maybe I have to break his stance or something. I don't know. I do think that, especially in high school, we spend too much time learning some stuff that is like just academic, but not necessarily that useful. I'm not saying it's bad to know things. Sometimes I get attacked for being anti-intellectual, which is by like high school students. Just crazy to me. You're forced to be in school. I was in school at will when I was already streaming for a job. I went back to school. Your ass is in like 10th grade science class going like, I'm smarter than him. Brother, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't even know where the damn signal lights are on the steering wheel yet. Anyway, So now that I'm done insulting, like, literal teenagers, you don't need to know all that shit. I feel like once you decide, once you're in university, they can be like, here's the organelles of your cell. In 9th grade, you don't need to know what a fucking endoplasmic reticulum is. Get away from me. You don't need to know what a Golgi body is. They should be teaching you how to write limericks. And like, you know... there should be like a flower identifying class. You know how embarrassed I am that I feel like my 2-year-old child knows more flowers than me? Every time we're outside, she's like, Daddy, that's a buttercup. I'm like, oh, which one? This one? She's like, no, the yellow one. I'm like, how do you know that? I'm gonna die. I simply can't. I can't. Go, go, go! Thank God I took HP regen. We're so back. And then in university, you can learn what a Golgi body is, and that way you just are responsible for learning it and remembering it forever. Instead of like, hey, we're going to make you learn it, and then like after summer vacation, the first month of grade 11 biology is going to be learning the cell organelles again. And then after you finish that, you get 8 months not thinking about biology again. And then in 12th grade, the first 2 weeks, we're going to learn the cell organelles again. And then in university, they're like, we can't be held responsible for the high school you went to, so we're going to spend the first month learning all the cell organelles again. I'm gonna die. I was trying to get to the magnet, but I started way too late. Return me back, return me back. Here. Oh, whoa, my mans! Well, keeper.
You've earned my deepest gratitude. For the rescue, of course. And since we've made such a great team down there, I have a proposition for you.
Proceed.
This well has dried up a long time ago. Now it leads to the very halls you helped me escape. But if you ever happen to find the other end, you might want to drop a trinket into the bucket. Then I hoist it up and make it available to you up here. What do you say?
Fair enough. You left me to die down there, by the way. Item stash. You can buy items from the well keeper once you've retrieved them through the well. Can I have the long finger gloves? How much did that cost me? Nothing? I can start fully kitted? Health or block? Let's take health. Defense or speed? Let's take speed. You own these already? I hear what you're saying, and I agree. I'm pretty good. Okay, now take me back to the haunted caverns. You'll lose them if you die? I'm not too concerned about that. Crit chance. You don't? Alright, now you got my attention. It's crazy that the game looks like crap, but like, it must be so much work to make it look like the right kind of crap. You know what I mean? Like, the laziest game you could possibly make now, Don't Shoot the Messenger, probably has an aesthetic somewhat similar to, if it's 2D, like Papa's Freezeria, or if it's 3D, like all those Unity like asset flips where it's just like a dude with a gun in a really, really bright silver corridor. Take Swift Feet. Let's get some move on here. Let's get a move on. But you know what? You know what I'm realizing? It doesn't look like shit. It looks like a masterpiece that came out in 1996. I think I'm kind of over graphics. What do you mean by that? Well, I just like... I'm not completely over graphics, because whenever someone tells me to play a roguelite, and then I look at the roguelite and it's literally ASCII, I'm like, I just can't do it, I'm sorry. That's where I draw my line, I guess. But from basically, like, anything that's actually graphics and not just text on the screen, up to, like, the most photorealistic game ever made, they look the same to me. Maybe that's an insane statement. But I don't know if it's an age thing or it's just a personal thing. I never really liked to I never really prioritized reading the books with a lot of pictures as a kid either. I was like, if I wanted to look at pictures, I mean, the TV is undefeated, right? It can feed you like 23 pictures a second or something like that. The games that look the best, I mean, like Halls of Torment. As far as I'm concerned, it looks amazing for what it's going for. Wild Frost, amazing art direction. So I always laughed, like, people would be like, I watched you play 800 episodes of Slay the Spire, but I just can't get over how ugly it is. And I'm like, brother, what are you talking about? It's not ugly. Your brain is looking at it, and then it's converting what it's seeing to, like, fucking organic ones and zeros. And then you're clicking on a card with a sword on it, or you're clicking on a card with a shield on it. So the whole game is just shield or sword. I don't think Slay the Spire is ugly. It's like saying, you know, I can't think of a good example. Because I'm making it up as I go. Hang on, let me get my ability, then I'll go for this potted plant up here at the top. You did say Brotato looked like shit. I say a lot of things I agree with. Just take Lightning Strike because I don't have to think about it. And I will raise my damage and attack speed. At some point we're going to want defense. You know what? Why don't we kill the boss? That way we can get some loot from the boss, rather than kiting him around and having to fight two bosses at the same time. Austin, it is shit. It's like saying a calculator's graphics are shit. The real analogy crafter has logged on, thank you. Like, some games it matters, some games it doesn't matter. Like, I feel, that's my opinion. Like, I feel if I was playing like a Telltale game, the art direction matters a lot. If you're playing, I mean, Darkest Dungeon 2 is a great example. I think that game looks great, but genuinely, people were like, there's a brain behind the locks that you're fighting on the boss, and I was like, I didn't even fucking see it, dude. Because my ass was so focused on, do I do it? What should I do? Do I do blight? Do I do blight? Do I need damage over time? If I do it, it's like they did say, you know, like that game's all about the mechanics. Dungeon too dark. Man's not hot. The brain is there before the locks show up. I'll take your word for it. My ass is hard stuck looking at like this part of the screen. From here to about here. Let me get, you know what? Take some base health and block strength. I don't think Darkest Dungeon 2 is ass. I think it's just too hard for me at this stage of my life. It's like the same thing, like, you know, I'm sure the MCATs are good at what they're designed to do. My ass is not just gonna walk up and be like, hey, I'm gonna like solo the MCATs. Takes practice. Takes a different kind of individual. You know, if you want to ace the MCATs, I think it starts with going to private school when you're like 7 years old, and then it culminates at age 35 when you actually get your degree. Take fire rate up on my needles. Dude, that would be sick if you could summon for the MCATs. You're right, summon, let me solo her for the MCATs. Dude, people who have previously beaten the MCATs can put their summon sign down, and then you get like a little shadowy avatar of them, and you gotta choose. You're like, do I go with the guy in the suit or the dude with the in the bathing suit? Where's the blue thing I was supposed to get? Did I get it? You never know. The dude in the bathing... The idiots would be like the guy in the suit. He's probably successful. Real Dark Soul heads, no, you take the guy in the goofy outfit because he doesn't need to min-max his armor. You always go with the dude that's like totally naked with like a fork in one hand. And then you're like, what? This guy should be funny. Then he gets in there and he just goes up to the boss and goes, and the boss just goes, oh, 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 oh. Anyway, it's the well, but you don't have an item to put in it. Oh, okay. What does the boss do? I don't know, like ask you some shit like fucking, what organ produces insulin or something like that. Apparently the MCATs are like 9th grade health class in my head. Probably some dumb shit about like DNA polymerase. And then your whole job as a general practitioner is booking appointments 12 weeks out, and then whenever they come for the appointment, just telling them to lose 10 pounds. Take plus 10% damage, please. By the way, so like I know I've gone off on the medical industry a little bit. It's only because they caused me trauma that I'm still working through when I had the gut infections, okay? But anyway, so remember when I smashed my thumb into the back door and like cratered my thumbnail and like bled a lot, and then all the skin fell off and then the nail died, but it died from the bottom up, so I had to trim it back like over the course of 3 months until finally it all fell off. And now it's grown back, but there's still like a little seam in it. Just give it a sec. You can almost see it. There's like a little seam. It's getting better. In like 6 months, I think it's going to be normal. And it's now strong enough I can use it to like open aluminum cans and stuff like that. Anyway, so I went to the walk-in clinic after a few months when it was like half of a nail. The top half, weirdly enough. And the guy at the walk-in clinic basically insinuated I was trying to get like medical grade painkillers. When really I wanted him to like do surgery and like take my thumbnail off, or I don't know, just give me something like a piece of wood to bite down on or something like that. Anyway, he said, okay, I can give you a referral to a dermatologist. Gave me a referral to a dermatologist. The dermatologist didn't get back to me for like 5 months, which was faster than expected, which is fucked up as well. I get that it's not like an urgent thing, like I'm not gonna die because of my thumb issue, but still. Regardless, a dermatologist I never met before sent us a letter in the mail and said, here's when your appointment is, fucking take it or leave it. No regard for, you know, your own availability at all. So I called him back and said, guess what, I'm leaving it, because, you know, thanks but no thanks. By the time he got back to me, Mother Nature healed it itself. Then they said, sure, no problem. Then this doctor, who I've never interacted with before in my entire life, like a week and a half ago, sent out a mass email, because now I'm on their damn email list, and said, hey, Dr. Blank and Blank is leaving the clinic. Just wanted you guys to know I've accepted an opportunity that's going to take me out of the province, and I know I've had a great time with you guys building the practice over the years. I'm like, I don't know who you are, and I've never seen you before in my entire life. Who asked? I don't really want to like lose my boots. I guess we could take them back to the well. But like spike boots, when hit, drop 10 spikes to the ground, takes 4 seconds to recharge. I will put these boots in my bag. And then I will go to the well and try to drop the boots, I guess. Maybe? Is for me? I guess we should get the magnet first. Ow! The boots are already collected? Yeah, but now they're on my feet. critical hit chance. Frames of Nick, thank you for the raid. Thank you. Don't think I've forgotten about you during Monopoly typing in chat, in Chibley's chat, hey, I'm about to become a father. Any advice for me? And then I gave you some heartfelt advice. And then everyone was like, they added you and said, why are you fucking with him? And it turns out you're like just a guy and you're not having a kid. Thanks for the raid. People don't forget. Give me more base health. I bared my damn soul. Stored in the vault. +1 piercing. When I broke my foot, they gave me a prescription ... for ibuprofen. Dude, I got this stuff at home. It's crazy, man. I've never even done heroin. But the way that, like, we get treated by doctors, you would think that we're, like, recovering drug addicts. It's like, sometimes when I had my wisdom teeth taken out, it hurt like a son of a gun. And then I said, oh, are we done? And the assistant was like, wait, we have to give you your painkillers. And then she opened up her desk drawer and pulled out a Kirkland Signature bottle of, like, ibuprofen. And just poured, like, she didn't even, like, count it out. She just poured, like, a whole bunch into the bag and gave it to me. I'm like, the hell am I supposed to do with this? I could buy this shit at the convenience store. I need, like, 2 Tylenol 3s to get me through the next day, and then I can take the ibuprofen. Sure, more health regen. I do be taking some damage now and then. But apparently John Mulaney can get whatever he wants. All he's got to do is take his shirt off at the doctor's office. My ass shows in with like a broken thumb and like a completely fucked gut microbiome. And they're like, have you considered drinking more water? And I'm like, how stupid is your average patient? You don't think that I tried that before I said, let's wait in the emergency room for 10 hours? Okay, let's get faster needles. If I had to do a tier list of all the doctors who saw me during the Salmonella Campylobacter infection, I definitely have to say the bottom tier is the guy who, when I said I had diarrhea for 13 days straight, said, well, we usually don't worry about it until it's been 14 days. So I guess just go home and see what happens. That guy should probably change specializations, I think. Everybody else, I think that they were mostly doing their best. I just picture him, like, at the bar. You won't believe the idiot that came into the walk-in clinic today. He'd had diarrhea for ... 13 days straight. Everyone's like, what an idiot! Anyway, we've talked about this too much it's been like 11 months or something. Just take more damage. On the 14th day, the diarrhea does hit a little different, though. Because now, instead of being like, I'm sick, you're like, oh, I'm fucking ill, dude. And the other reason I keep bringing it up is because the saga's, like, still going on. So I mentioned that, like, we were trying to get life insurance, but then the insurance, like, underwriters were like, oh, you had this medical incident last summer, so we need to talk to your doctor to get more information before we approve it. They're like, you didn't have a follow-up CT scan that you were supposed to have. And I'm like, nobody fucking told me about a CT scan. So then my doctor's office left, like, 8 voicemails on my voicemail, and I had to make an appointment with the doctor to talk on the phone. I had to call the office to make an appointment to have the office call me to talk about this CT scan that nobody told me I was going to have, and I already know what it's going to be like. The doctor's going to be like, Do you need a CT scan? It seems like you're okay. And I'm going to be like, I am okay. And they're going to be like, why do they want you to take a CT scan? And I'm going to be like, because I was sick a year and a half ago when nobody would. Now that I'm not sick, everybody's like, we got to get you in for a CT scan and a colonoscopy. Stat. Well, we were busy 11 months ago. POV, you are poop in the turlet. It's a good joke. I remember Trackmania. You should just get one anyway. Well, I got my ages to get my money's worth, but also I gotta take my Prince Albert out, so I don't know, like, I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze. Do the Tenet poop joke? What is the poop joke again? Me when I'm, what are they, inverted? Me when I'm inverted and I feel like I have to take a shit. Oh, man. Sure, let's take 10% additional attacks. It didn't show up until 12 minutes into the run, so it must be strong. A guy who has seen Tenet once, I think people are still sleeping on Tenet. You, person who knows nothing voice. It's kind of shitty and it makes no sense. Me, a genius. Yes. I think that the world is going to come around in 10 years. Because you know what it is? I'm trying to think of a good analogy for it. It's just cool. He's too far up his own ass. That's what makes it fun, is because like he's so serious about it, but the movie is so silly. Like it's like Aldous Snow in Get Him to the Greek. Christopher Nolan is like trying to explain this shit that obviously makes no sense at all. Fast and the Furious is fun. Tenet is trying to sound smart. I don't care what Tenet's trying to do in the slightest. It's just fun. People are running backwards. People are getting into backwards fist fights, which makes no fucking sense at all. You have to wear an oxygen mask because the air inverted is actually fucking Rhea. It's not air. It'll rip your lungs apart. It's not just a way for you to tell which one is John David Washington moving forward and which one's John David Washington moving backwards. I think Tenet owns. Also, Kenneth Branagh is just great in everything he's ever been in. Probably. Including Wild Wild West. The air is backwards. You gotta see the movie. I'm not taking any damage, man. I'm not taking any damage. Give me the pickup range. He does have the goated Macbeth, too. No offense, Mel Gibson. All offense, Mel Gibson, now that I think about it. The ending of Tenet is also cute. I know! That's it! Dude, Robert Pattinson is great in that movie. Especially when he's saying shit that doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, that whole script is like how people talked in the forum days. You, like, meet someone for the first time. For you, this is the first time we've ever met. For me, this is the middle of a beautiful journey that I've been on for time immemorial. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? You got a Sephiroth signature. I'm telling you. On the best of the decade list, don't be surprised to see Tenet within the top 25 movies of the decade for me. That's if I get to see 25 movies this decade. I don't think we're on pace yet, but... We might get there. I just think it's cool. It's like The Matrix 2. I just think it's cool. Yeah, I don't know. Let's do transfixion. I don't really know what it is. I'm shooting out like a beam that weakens. The pen is mightier. Walking. I can't. They have fragility. Of my city. Of my city. Dude, I'm feeling like this is by far my best run. I can actually afford to take some damage. Some positive things happen when I take damage. I have abilities. I'm able to, like, kill bosses. I think I'm doing something. I'm starting with some equipment. That's very true. Ooh, the Helm of Damocles. Every 15 seconds, you summon a skeleton to fight for you. Plus 0.07% damage for each missing health point. 6 block strength. What's 500 times 0.7? 0.07. That's like 35% damage. I do have a lot of HP. You're not wrong. I think we gotta go Amulet. For it shows up on the screen. They do the math. R/ they did the math for me. 50% damage bonus. Holy cow. It would have been nice to see a skeleton. Don't get me wrong, but. And then let's get some. I was gonna try to get some like health regen or something, but that's okay. Or more max health. Has anyone ever beaten this game? Or are we, like, is this a world's first situation? World's first? Okay, I'll focus. Not even the devs? That's typical, because the only people who are worse at video games than games journalists are game developers. Am I right? Game developers, when they have to play a game versus me, a gamer who is unemployed. Oh, what do I do? What do I do? Oh, man. Oh, sheesh. Developers, game developers, when they have to tell everybody at Thanksgiving what they do for their job. Developers. I love saying sheesh. I'm glad that of the TikTok era shouts, sheesh made it out, in my opinion, and frickin' mint is forever lost in the 2020s. I guess we're still in the 2020s, but I think it obviously is going to be different, like person to person. Well, I'll just walk into that, I suppose. I think, like, and I can only speak for myself, which is why I'm saying in a man's life. In a man's life, there's like a few eras, okay? When you're a kid, you're silly. Because you're a kid, you're just having fun. You can get away with it. When you get slightly older, let's say, you know, teens to early 20s, you define yourself by no longer being a kid. You have independence now. You take yourself far too seriously. You find yourself trying to fix problems in the world that, like, you don't have the expertise. Why is traffic a thing? We should have subway cars where you can just say exactly the building where you want to get off, and the subway car detaches your car and drops you right on top of the A&W, so I don't have to walk 3 extra blocks to get to where I'm going. And now that I'm in my 30s, I definitely went through a self-serious phase. I'm not going to disagree with that. Now that I'm in my 30s, I've gone right back to silliness. I've returned to my childhood silliness and realized it's just funny. It's just funny to be like a little bit goofy. Maybe I'll get serious again at some point. I don't know. I'll face some kind of like trauma or tragedy in my life that'll make me serious again. I mean, it's a average male lifespan in Canada's got to be like 78 years or something like that. It's a long road. I'm sure you go through ups and downs. Right now, I'm enjoying my silly phase. I feel like kids also keep you silly too, because you spend all day doing like silly improv that makes no sense. More regen, please. Mushrooms helped me find the silliness again. I hear you. That's sort of like how I felt when I rewatched the Matrix trilogy. I've never done hard drugs like that, so I don't know how they would impact me. Maybe make some good music or something like that, but mushrooms are not hard. The ones I'm eating are. I want a soft mushroom. More health, please. They're the softest drug? Nope. The softest drug, you wouldn't know this because the media put out a hit on it. The softest drug is actually bath salts. They did a survey, and it's actually the drug. It's impossible to become addicted to it. And I don't know where I'm going with this. Stop it! Stop attacking me! I need to move faster! Let me out, let me out, let me out, let me out, let me out. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming. It's true, I'm a doctor. Rare Dr. Dub. Oh, relax. You're saving the world. Doctors, when a patient doesn't say thank you when they have an acute problem and they finally get an appointment, but the appointment is 11 months away and they'll either be healed or dead by then just due to the way that nature moves. No! I need to move faster. I respect doctors! In fact, I respect doctors so much, I wish that there were a lot more of you so that one of them would see me in a timely fashion. Help me. I've killed the boss. I can't believe it. If needles could still hit more enemies when the maximum range is reached, they deal their remaining damage as magic damage in an area around them. Thank you. What have I done? Oh! Just start going to shamans. You know what? I never really thought of that as a solution to my problem. But now that you mention it... Shamans, huh? Tell me more about this. I have seen that Kino Korean movie about the shaman. What is that one called? You know the one I'm talking about. You know the one I'm talking about. It's not called The Shaman. The Wailing! Yes, I have seen The Wailing. I'm still gonna die. No, I'm not. I'm gonna live forever. Run. Run. Don't step in the poison. Run. How's the bitrate in this compared to like Vampire Survivors? I'm going to assume ass. It's serving ass vibes. It's actually pretty good. Wow. I would not have expected that. Get out of your green slimes. Holy frick. How can they expect one man to deal with this? This is like being beset by Chitauri warriors in New York City, but not having access to all of the Avengers. Even the strongest Avenger, Iron Man, needs help sometimes. Eight minutes, huh? I've got a 95% damage boost. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Got quite a lot of gold. No, I don't. I have 400 gold. Thought I had 7,000. We killed 7,000 enemies. Ooh, large lads and ghosts. And skeletons. Whoa, that's bad. Thank you for the block. Okay, make space. We're in kind of the Vampire Survivors death spiral right now. We're not getting enough EXP to have a reasonable chance to be strong enough to kill the enemies that are increasingly getting stronger. But I lived. I lived. I have 8 HP. That's on the low side, I would say. More needles? Now that we got phantom needles, all we need is phantom thread. You hear about this one, Kevin? Oh, yeah. Alright, alright. I mean, it's the best we've ever done. Because of the damn meta progression, man. I'd like to buy the world a toke. Like to get some health regen. How about some pickup range? Honestly, I'm like the oil drillers in Armageddon. You know how they never wanted to do income tax ever again? I never want to have to worry about pickup range ever again. Just give that to me. I never want to have to take it in battle. Hello, Jay. Jay, I want you to know I give you a little tip of the hat